All right, y'all, welcome back for another Kentucky Postgame show. I'm Courtney. I'm here with Malik Winfrey and Mario Maitland, and we're back to go over the Kentucky Penn game.
Yes, another.
Please like and subscribe to our channel so that you keep up with the greatest content coming your way.
Like and subscribe
on Kentucky basketball.
Comment. Throw your thoughts in the comments too. We need that.
Yeah, all feedback, much appreciated. Kentucky had a big bounce-back game against Penn. DJ Wagner returned to the court this week after a one-game being out from an ankle injury, but he was back this week. It was the first time we saw DJ Wagner and Aaron Bradshaw together on the court, so we'll get into that a little bit later. Yep. Breakout game for Aaron Bradshaw, leading the Cats past the Penn Quakers from 81 to 66 wins. So with that being said, y'all ready to see some highlights?
I'm ready to see some highlights.
All right, let's do it.
Kentucky versus Penn, and they're actually playing in the Wells Fargo Center, the home of the 76ers.
We had some old Kentucky basketball players there showing their support. Tyrese Maxey.
Emmanuel Quickly, man, everybody showed up. I also saw Michael Kidd-Gilchrist sitting courtside, so it was good to see a lot of former Cats in the building.
I think they took a lot of those words of last week a little bit serious. The guys wanted to show up, you know, when promised, I guess you could say blowout, you know, because they said, you know, the guys were wanted to be revengeful after that last loss. So,
yeah, for sure. I mean, Dillingham had a special game. You can't forget about Reed Sheppard. He didn't do too much on the stat sheet, but like I said, he had a great impact on the floor. And then that big fella, Aaron Bradshaw, man, talk about a double-double off the bench.
Yeah, very excited to see him get more minutes. You could tell this is the game everyone's been waiting for, to see Aaron Bradshaw really play big minutes in the lineup.
For sure.
He finished with 17 points and 11 rebounds and made his first three-pointer. There was a fun interview with John Calipari after the game about him shooting threes. So that'll be exciting to see him shoot more of those.
Yeah, big fella could stretch the floor, shoot the threes. Speaking of threes, how about the Penn Quakers, man? These guys couldn't miss from beyond the arc, man. They were flame throwing out there. I was very impressed to see what they were doing out there. Now, Antonio Reeves had another big game, 16 points. This has hit double figures in every game this season for Antonio Reeves. He's just leading us in scoring, being that leader. This is one of my favorite plays of the game right here.
Selfishness right here.
Yeah,
you love to see it when these guys are swinging the ball. They just look very unbeatable.
And you saw there Reed Sheppard's mom, Stacy Sheppard, was a fan of that play right there. So
always brings the good energy.
Always.
Every game.
Here's that Aaron Bradshaw three we talked about. Seeing a 7-footer step out there and knock that down gives you a lot of hope for the season.
Oh, what a pass by Dillingham back to Aaron Bradshaw. Those two are going to be exciting to watch as we go on through the season.
Yes, that's what a lot of people like to say. We're getting excited for seeing 7-footers into the lineup. Look at this play right here. I just love it.
Oh, man.
Right in front of Tyrese Maxey.
Mr. L.A. Fitness,
putting
man.
a close to the game. Exclamation point. What a play.
Man, Robert Dillingham is his name, man. Special player, special kid. Let's get into some analysis.
Lots of Cats doing big things. 3 players scored in the double digits to beat Penn in Philadelphia. But who are you all the most impressed with from this game?
I got to go Aaron Bradshaw. I probably took the words out your mouth because I know you probably was going to say Aaron Bradshaw. But
big player, big star in that game.
Big player, big star. Moves without the basketball well, can rebound, can shot block, very versatile. And I like his motor. Like he's got a lot of energy, man. He's jumping up for rebounds. He's playing defense. I think Kentucky, if one thing we need is an energy guy. Aaron Bradshaw has shown that he can definitely be an energy guy for this team, man. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do as the season goes on when he gets more minutes. But it's double-double tonight, and I feel like he can play much better. He hasn't hit his ceiling, so you know I'm excited for Bradshaw and what Kentucky can do around this kid.
I'm gonna put a spotlight on 2 guys. I want to put it on Antonio Reeves and Reed Sheppard. You know. Reed Sheppard coming into that game, you know, in that game he had 3 steals. That's, like we said, you know, just that defense turned to offense. We love to see it when you see that unselfishness. Sure. And we also talk about Aaron Bradshaw's defensive ability. You know, it starts, you know, when other guys can make plays, and he makes a lot of good plays and key plays just defensively and offensive-wise. But Antonio Reeves, also, I want to put a spotlight on him because, you know, sometimes he has an up and down.
We don't talk about
the season.
him
we don't give him, you know, his flowers when he has those games when he comes in. He's knocking down the three consistently, and he's making the game a little easier for guys to get to the lane. So I want to bring those two guys, give them the flowers they deserve.
For sure, for sure.
I also think Antonio Reeves is a big emotional leader on the team, being one of the only players that played for this team last year and being on the older side of the team. Yeah. I think he brings a lot of that emotional stability and leadership and just maturity to the squad. But I also want to mention, you mentioned Reed Sheppard, and we talk a lot about his scoring capabilities. But like you said, he had 3 steals, and he's had 2 in at least every single game so far this season. So not only is he performing on the offensive end, but he's really performing on the defensive end too. But I want to talk a little bit more about Aaron Bradshaw, because second game back, first time with DJ Wagner, Kentucky fans have been super excited about seeing some of these bigs coming back from that injury report. So how do you think Bradshaw has impacted the way Kentucky has looked these last 2 games?
Kentucky's biggest flaw this season is defense. Let's keep that. Let's be honest. It's the defense. I think we're starting to notice it. We're about almost 10 games in the season. Defense is definitely an issue, but it's getting better. When you get Bradshaw back, it helps. You see him blocking shots. You see him running the floor. You see him getting steals, getting taps for rebounds. I think they have an opportunity to keep getting better in terms of defense. But guards got to be able to stay in front. I'm going to be honest with you. Guards got to be able to stay in front, especially against teams like North Carolina, Louisville. Louisville. I don't know if I want to say Louisville. I don't know if I want to say.
Coming up on this.
Yeah.
But, guards got to be able to stay in front. And I feel like defense, it's getting better. But like I said, in order for us to be an elite team, a Final Four team, we gotta be able to play defense. That's where we can outscore everybody. We average like 80 points a game, but defense is the key. How are we going to get stops when we need to get stops? That's going to be key for the Kentucky Wildcats.
I think I'm going to bring attention to the offensive rebounding. We got won that battle largely 13-5, and that was a battle we weren't winning prior to Aaron Bradshaw's return. Like I say, 7-footer in the lineup. We talk about this every time, before him coming back. The difference that height makes when you have someone, a big guy. They were trying to do a team effort without the big guys in the rebounding. Just everyone pitching in. But with him back, you could tell it makes it a lot easier. Yep. They were able to get a lot more free plays. He got a lot of easy buckets off those offensive rebounds, so that was something that was big, and you could tell just those guys, that was a almost like a free point right there, because, he's going to work hard down there and make them have to be honest and box him out.
Yep.
Well, and I think, too, it's been a while since Kentucky has had a real tall big man that's been really strong on the glass. We had Oscar Tshiebwe last year, and although he was great at offensive rebounding, we were still on the shorter side. Yeah. And I think even the first part of this season, we've had to rely a lot on our offense and our scoring because we haven't had those big men in the paint to be able to help us out with that offensive rebounding and things like that. So I'm super excited to see Aaron Bradshaw back, hoping the other big guys get to come back soon too. But kind of now with the team kind of getting a little bit back together, having DJ Wagner back, having Aaron Bradshaw, what's your feeling on Kentucky now moving forward through the rest of the season?
Like I said, very optimistic. Seeing what the lineup can do, like I said, with Aaron Bradshaw back. And then again, it's always going to come back to it till we can see these guys at full health. Mm-hmm. We're going to want to see, when Aaron Bradshaw, has someone who could sub in, someone who plays the 5. When we get to see one of those other 7-footers hit the lineup. Yeah. So you can be very optimistic. Like I said, we're seeing this team, and like I said, I know we haven't even reached late December or January, or like I said, even SEC. So it's very optimistic to see what these guys can bring going on in the season as they build chemistry.
They looked a lot better compared to UNC Wilmington. Ball was moving, didn't stick too much, moving side to side. We were shooting the ball a little bit better than we did at UNC Wilmington. But one thing that I really want to point out is Mitchell and Bradshaw. These two can play. They play really well together. I like what they do on the floor in terms of meshing and having a flow within the offense. So I do like what I see from those two. But I feel like throughout the game, there's been times where I'm like, okay, we're really talented. We're really special. We got some elite freshmen. And then there's times where I'm like, okay, these guys, they're definitely freshmen. Like, they look like freshmen. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird how, you go through different phases throughout the game. Even in this game, there's times where, Kentucky couldn't get stops. and we didn't look good defensively. And then there's other times where Kentucky looked like they could be possibly a top 5 defense in the country when we get healthy, of course, due to Bradshaw and we know what Shepard does on the perimeter with his defense. So I'm excited to see what they're gonna do in versus North Carolina. It's gonna be a good test. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I think we'll be remiss if we don't speak about something from that game that we could see play a bigger role even down the line in the future was the bench. Winning the bench, scoring from 40 to 5. When you get 40 points from your bench, you're facing a very difficult team that can really score and put up points. So, like you said, when they add in the defense, it's going to be a really, really, really tough team.
And how about Wagner? I mean, you get a guy who we didn't have last game. We kind of saw what we were missing. Now that we have Wagner back, we can let Shepard and Dillingham be themselves, and bring those guys if they're coming off the bench or starting, they can be themselves. They don't have to worry about trying to do extra since Wagner's not here. Well, Wagner's back, so they can be themselves and play their roles.
Right.
So I like it. I like to see us getting healthy. We're headed in the right direction in terms of health.
Well, and I think with DJ Wagner being back, he's not the biggest scorer that we have.
Yep.
He played 30 minutes this last game and scored 9 points, but he had 7 assists, so he's a facilitator.
Yeah.
He's going to be the one making plays, getting people the ball that he knows is going to score, so he can count on his teammates that way. So you already mentioned North Carolina. Our next test coming up next Saturday at 5:30. They play North Carolina down in Atlanta at the All-State Arena. So
Showtime.
The Cats stay on the road. It's going to be another big one, another top 25 matchup. We did good last time we had a top 25 matchup against Miami, but then we turned around UNC Wilmington and kind of had a fallout that game. So what do you all think we need to do to pull off that win down in Atlanta?
It's gonna be a big test, man. I'm excited to see this matchup. You can't go wrong with Kentucky and North Carolina matching up, regardless of what year it is or what time of the year it is. You can't go wrong with that matchup. But in this matchup, we got it's going to be a battle, man. From the big's perspective, Bradshaw is going to get a big test. He gets to go up against Armando Bacot. I'm probably saying probably messing up whatever his last name is. Big fella can play a little bit. I know he's leading them in scoring. And then you got the guards. Reed Shepard, DJ Wagner, Dillingham. They're going to have their hands full with R.J. Davis from North Carolina. So it's going to be fun to see these guys match up. You get the veterans versus the young, talented freshman Kentucky team. So I'm excited to see these guys on the big stage. And like you said, they killed it versus Miami. They can keep that going, play with some high energy and move the ball and keep the pace going, hit shots and play defense. They have a chance.
Like I said, I'm excited. It's a neutral site game, like she said, State Farm Arena in Atlanta. And I feel like, just like you said, coming into this game, coming off a big win, I think these guys want to prove it, opportunity, jokingly but serious, to go 1-1 in the state of North Carolina. UNC, not UNC Wilmington, two different schools, but you got the opportunity to knock off the bigger known blue blood and really get some revenge and, put your name back out there like, hey, we're serious. We're a serious team.
Make a statement.
This is a big statement game. Prime time game on CBS, 5:30. Everyone's going to be tuned in. So this is the opportunity. Why not now? And as UK will always feel, why not us? So.
I know Trey Mitchell we kind of talked about it in our last episode, how he was, he's saying, wait until our next game. My bet is, why not make it versus North Carolina? Let's show the world what you can do versus the big dogs. That'll be more exciting. That'll have more truth and a heavier statement for those Kentucky Wildcats.
Well, and I think we have a lot to prove. Last time we were in a neutral site, we played Kansas, and that's a game that we should have won. Yeah. We were up the entire first half, and then we came back second half and ended up losing that game. So we haven't had a lot of road games yet. We had a great road win yesterday against Penn up in Philadelphia, but I think with this top 25 matchup, they have a little chip on their shoulder to prove that they can win on the road. And I think once we kind of see them start to win on the road, we can really determine, how good really is this team. But we got to see how they play on the road and not just at home like they did against Miami. So a little different, but still exciting. Any other points y'all want to make about this game against Penn? Any takeaways? What's your main takeaway from last night's game moving forward?
Got to play defense. Let's get better at defense, and let's get healthy. We're in the right direction in terms of health. let's get healthy and play better defense in terms of getting stops.
Yeah, defense. Putting a stop to those runs. You know, Penn went on a pretty good run at one point to bring them back in the game. You know, let's start running away with the score. You know, let's put a stop to these runs, not letting them get too far. Just run away with the game.
Yep.
All right, well, y'all heard it here. Kentucky Postgame Show, back at you with another episode. Join us next week. We'll be covering that North Carolina game, going over those highlights, going over that matchup. Until then, please like and subscribe.
Hit that like and subscribe button and comment on it too. Do whatever it takes because we need it. We need it, ladies and gents.
Yeah, everyone counts. So we need y'all. Until then, we'll see y'all later.
For sure.